Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest GFS ensembles, and then we'll have a look at the latest warnings, look at the latest radar, and we'll have our first look at the Atlantic hurricane season, as we do have a potential area of interest over the next few days. Now, do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you do like and subscribe, and do remember to follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description. So if we look at the latest GFS, you can see we've got this big area of low pressure over the top of the country right now. It's centred over towards the western part of Ireland, and it's got its weather fronts currently spreading across the United Kingdom. It's had a lot of patchy, light to moderate rain. We haven't seen very heavy rain within this, but a lot of areas have been very gloomy, cloudy, and on and off moderate rain with some gusty winds around. Now, overnight tonight is where the strongest winds will be this evening into tomorrow morning, with a tightening in the isobars further southwards, and that's why we have a weather warning, and it was extended this morning, and I'll show you that towards the end of the video. Beyond that, this low does eventually clear till overnight into Saturday, and we do start to pull down a bit of a northerly wind. Now, it's going to bring down some cooler air, nothing too cold, but it does mean there could be some snow over parts of the higher ground in Scotland towards the mountain peaks, and to lower levels it may be a bit cooler. And then we have another low pressure system engaging with the UK through Monday, and that's going to bring another deluge with some heavy rain. Beyond that, as we've been seeing in the last few updates, high pressure is going to take control. Now, on this latest GFS, it does build to the north, and we do get a bit of an undercut with low pressure moving through towards day 10, but it does eventually clear away, and we've got very much higher pressure to the south, but lower pressure to the north. This would allow there potentially to be a bit of precipitation in the north, but generally it's a lot drier. And even in the south, it could even be quite warm as well, with some sort of southerly flow starting to establish itself. And by the end of the run, we do see the 10-degree isotherm spreading from the southwest, and this could, in fact, bring it 20 degrees or so, or maybe a bit warmer to some regions. It does move through quite quickly as low pressure tries to influence again, but it does show you that there is the potential towards the end of May and start of June, we could start to see some actual real warmer weather arrive, as we've had very much cooler weather over the last 2 months or so. When it has been dry, it's been quite cold, when it's been, and then other times it's been wet and windy and cold as well. So if we have a look at the latest GFS ensembles, these are the 6Z runners. The 12Z hasn't quite fully come out yet, and you can see over the next week or so we are still below average. Beyond that, though, temperatures do climb up to around average, or maybe a bit warmer, or even a bit colder. Now, this is simply because of the orientation of the higher pressure, and you can see there are some ensemble members going quite cold, others going very warm, and it really is just whether that higher pressure gets undercut by a low, or whether the high pressure migrates to the east and allows southerly winds to waft up. That's when we could see some warmer conditions. You can see, though, in the next week we are quite unsettled, and there are going to be repeated bouts of wind and rain and quite cool conditions, with temperatures going to be around 4 or 5 degrees below average, maybe low teens, maybe even getting up to 14, 15 in the sunshine. I do expect towards the end of May, start of June, when that high pressure does take hold, even though the upper airs may not be that warm, with drier, finer conditions, definitely looking like highs will quite widely be 15 degrees or higher, and maybe if we do see some warmer upper airs potentially getting into the 20s. It does look like precipitation signals are quite low, which is good. It's going to show high pressure is firmly in control in the longer term, and it does look like at the moment that undercut potential with a little cut-off low is quite slim. If we do have a look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see the big scatter we have in the longer term. In the short term, highs around 12, 13, maybe 14 or even 15 degrees if we do see a bit of sunshine. But beyond that, towards the end of May and start of June, you can see some ensemble members going up to mid-20s, perhaps 25, 26 degrees. Most around 17, 18 degrees, some colder than that, some a bit warmer than that. But the average is around 17, 18 degrees. So that's what we could be potentially looking at. And given it be the start of June, that's really what we'd expect with highs of around 17 or 18 degrees. So it does look like definitely we'll be going drier and potentially a bit warmer as we head into the official meteorological summer. Now, if we have a look at the latest weather warnings, you can see the wind warning was extended this morning. extended for to impact most areas of Wales. Only the eastern and northern edges of Wales are not included in the yellow warning. And if we have a look, you can see the reason for update to an earlier start time, and it was extended further north and west into West and North Wales. Now, the strongest winds will be Thursday night into Friday, so tonight, and with heavier rain over the higher grounds, we could be seeing some quite strong gusts. I think around 50 or 60 mile an hour gusts have already been seen, and we could potentially get a little bit higher than that tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on the Met Office official Twitter page if you want to see what the latest gusts will be. And because I'm presuming they'll keep us updated on there. With updates every few hours or so. So if you want to see the official wind gusts, just check out the Met Office. And I suspect we could be seeing 60 or 70 miles an hour in a few localised spots, and maybe around 50 miles an hour quite widely for those gusts. If we now have a look at the latest radar, you can see this big swirl of rain. You can see the most heavy and persistent rain has been towards sort of Yorkshire, Lancashire, Northern England, getting into southern Scotland. But generally, for most other areas of England and Wales, it's been quite patchy with some heavier pulses within it, but generally again patchy on and off, and you can see again around the centre of the low, which is towards Ireland at the moment, you can see again swirls of rain heading around. Do expect in the next few hours this heavier rain to start to clear, and again to pack in some showers and lighter rain, and you can see further southwards we've got a lot of sort of patchy heavier showers around. Now finally, we'll have a look at the National Hurricane Centre's outlook for the next 2 days. So you can see we have a disturbance, and it's got an 80% chance of a cyclone formation. Now, it's located about 650 miles east-northeast of Bermuda, and it's moving northwards, so it's unlikely to become a significant tropical cyclone. But it's a non-tropical low-pressure system, and it could get gale force winds. It's expected to turn west-southwestwards over warmer waters tonight and Friday, and would likely become a subtropical cyclone near and to the northeast of Bermuda on Friday. After that time, the system is expected to move north towards north and northeast into a more hostile environment by late Sunday into Monday. So it's not going to be impacting any land, and it's not going to be getting really to any great strengths, but it's likely to become a subtropical depression. So first one of the season, and it'll be interesting to see whether it does get to a point where it gets named, and I'll have a look at that over the next. We'll just keep up to date with that over the next few days. Won't impact any areas, but again, it's symbolic that this season for hurricanes does look like it's going to be around average, if not a bit above average. Sea surface temperature anomalies do look like they are above average, and it does look like we could be seeing a higher than average season. I very much doubt it will be as high as last season, where we got the most amount of tropical storms, tropical systems ever. We got beyond the hurricane and tropical storm naming alphabet, and I do not expect us to get to that this year, but I do expect it to be around average or above average. So just gives you the signs of things to come. Now, the official start date for the Atlantic season, is 1st of June, so it is early, but we'll have to keep an eye on this, and I'll keep you updated over the next few months about all the tropical systems, as not only do they have big impacts in America and the Caribbean and other regions, they do, especially the Atlantic storms, can have quite a significant impact on the UK, because what we'll see is these low pressure systems, once they sort of decay from their hurricane or tropical storm status, get picked up by the jet stream as they head northeastwards through the United States, or even offshore like this storm be, and will interact with the jet and could impact the UK. Not only bringing us potentially some wet and windy weather in the middle of summer, like a sort of winter storm, but in the middle of the summer, but it could buckle the jets. It could give us some amplification, as it is pushing up some very warm air northwards, and that could not only give us some cooler weather, or even could give us some warmer weather, depending on where the jet stream aligns. So that's why it's really good to keep on top of what's happening with the tropical systems, that they do have quite a significant effect on the UK's weather as we head into the summer months. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and and I'll see you again for another video soon.